Mike Phillips with Autogeek.com, and today I have with me Ken Tiger from PennGrade 1 High Performance Oils. Ken, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Mike. Pleasure to be here.
You know, I'm a gearhead, and I'm pretty good about this stuff, and I see we've got 5 what you would call conventional oils out here.
That's right.
But when I see these numbers, just in case I'm confused or anybody watching this video is confused, could you just run through them and help us to understand what they mean and then how to pick the right oil for the engine in our car?
Certainly. Well, what you're looking at there on the tray is our conventional line. There are 5 different viscosities, starting with the lowest SAE 30 all the way up to the nitro 70 and everything in between. Now, back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, okay, it was very common for an OEM, the original equipment manufacturer, to recommend a straight 30 weight as the quote-unquote summer viscosity. You get into your heavier viscosities as bearing clearances change, they've loosened up, or perhaps you're running a different type of fuel, something other than a regular octane fuel. The Nitro 70 is a great example. That product is very viscous in its very nature, and it protects you from what's known as that cylinder washout. A lot of applications running that Nitro 70 are blown engines, okay, where they are literally pumping in a lot of fuel at once. And when you do that, you have to protect your cylinders from what's known as that cylinder washout. That Nitro 70 is very tenacious in its clingability. Again, a testament to the Pennsylvania grade base stock that it's formulated with. And it just does a phenomenal job at protecting all the critical valve trains.
So let me stop you right there in case anybody doesn't know what the word washout means. That means when you're pumping a lot of this, high flammable gas, or this, it's not gas, it's actually, what is it?
Methane fuel.
Methane fuel. It could actually rinse the oil off the cylinder wall, flush it down into the crankcase. So you want an oil that's going to actually clean tighter to the cylinder wall to prevent this.
That's exactly correct.
Okay, so that's what washout would mean.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now the word viscosity, can you make that really simple? What does that mean?
Viscosity is simply an oil's resistance to flow. It is the oil's internal friction.
Now, would it be suffice to say if we were to take the lid off the 30 over here and pour that, and the 70 and pour it, that this would appear to pour thicker?
That would pour not only thicker, but much slower than any of the lighter viscosities represented.
Okay, so that helps me to kind of, in my mind, imagine how this works. So the 30 weight would be just for that was a conventional motor oil. When I grew up, if you changed the oil in your car, you'd get 30 weight.
Correct.
Okay, then as things become more complicated, then we got more specialized oils.
Correct.
Okay, so let's go ahead and walk through and just maybe briefly touch on the 30, the 40, the 50, the 60, and then we kind of already talked about the 70.
Okay, and again, general rule of thumb, and again, with most OEMs back in those earlier decades, an SAE 30 was recommended. That was a very common summer viscosity. General rule of thumb is the 30 weight was widely used between the ambient temperatures of 60 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. On occasion, many end users from that era would run a straight 40 weight. Okay, and again, same rules apply. Typical rule of thumb, 60 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. You started to get into your 50 weight and 60 weight, and where I see these used primarily is very warm ambient temperature climates where, let's say, a late model big block Chevy engine would run a straight 50 weight. The straight 60 weight, that was really introduced into our line for the older bikes, okay, the older Harley Davidson, the Penn had the knucklehead flatheads, etc. And then of course the Nitro 70 again for your blown engine
real
type
radical
application.
Stuff.
Just totally radical.
Okay, so the 50 weight, you talked about running this in a big block. So I used to live in the Mojave Desert, okay, and I put a 454 into a classic Chevy truck, and I put in a heavy-duty aluminum radiator with an electric auxiliary fans. So one of the concerns I had was heat running around with the big block in the desert, because temperatures out there in the summer would easily hit 100, 103, sometimes 106. So would this be a better oil for those extreme temperatures like that versus the 30?
Not so much better. You're looking at, especially at those operating temperatures and the ambient temperatures to boot, you're looking at probably the need for a very heavy multi-grade, and we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But as far as film strength and shear stability, these oils exhibit very high temp, high shear rates. Now the higher the high temp, high shear, the better the oil does at protecting critical bearings under highly stressed, highly loaded conditions. Conventional mineral-based oils, and again, you're talking linear viscosity. So if I take a 50 weight, it's a 50 weight at startup, 50 weight at operating temp. And with that high temp, high shear rate, it's all about viscosity retention and film strength. And the conventional mineral-based product line will give you that and then some.
And then, but that's something specific to what the chemists at PennGrade can build into the oil.
Of course.
Okay, so that's the key factors, trusting, to me, the chemists behind the product.
That's right.
Because they know how to formulate this stuff.
Exactly, and
Okay.
they do a fantastic job at that. And again, I don't want you to think that the viscosity is the whole picture here. It's also about the unique chemistry. All of our PennGrade 1 high performance oils, especially the 5 monograde oils that you see here, come with enhanced levels of zinc and phosphorus. Okay.
What does zinc and phosphorus do for me, the end user?
Zinc and phosphorus is your anti-wear package. We utilize a ZDDP, or zinc dialkyl-phosphate. That's your anti-wear package comprised of zinc and phosphorus. In a ZDDP package, the phosphorus is roughly 90% of the zinc content. So if you have high levels of zinc, the phosphorus will follow suit at 90%.
Okay.
Enhanced levels. That's why the PennGrade 1 high performance monogrades are not suitable for use in any vehicle equipped with a catalytic converter, but that's for another discussion.
Okay, well, I think I got it then. So the first thing, there's 3 criteria that you would normally use to choose which oil. Those 3 criteria would be?
Okay, I get to talk to a lot of people every day, and I'm often asked 2 questions. Number 1, what viscosity should I run, and how often should I change my oil? Now, the latter is a bit tough because there's a lot of factors involved when it comes to selecting the most appropriate oil change interval. But in terms of viscosity, I look at 3 main criteria, Mike. Bearing clearance is absolutely critical and is paramount. Second consideration is whatever the anticipated ambient temperature operation it is you plan on utilizing your application. And third is whatever the OEM, the original equipment manufacturer, and or the engine builder recommend. Your engine builder knows your engine better than you or I put together. Mm-hmm. And what he says is gospel. And if he says, I want you to run a straight 40 weight in all types of ambient temperature conditions, that's what you should run.
Okay. And of those 3 primary criteria, though, how would the average person know what those criteria are, just by looking at their car?
Well, again, aside from the first 2,
yeah,
go by OEM recommendation and whatever your engine.
So that would be in the owner's manual.
Owner's manual, yes. That's obviously a place to start. But if, let's just say, you have a custom engine,
yeah,
okay, your engine builder put that together. So
yeah,
he's going to know what viscosity to recommend.
Okay, that's pretty simple. Most guys that own a car like this, they can call up or stop by the shop that built their engine and just go ahead and ask them. Well, thanks, Ken, for clearing that up. For more videos like these, subscribe to our YouTube channel. This has a 340 in it, and I know the owner personally. One of the things he likes to do is he likes to show off by lighting them up.